Hello everyone, Johnny Miner here. And today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon FireRed. Last time we finished finally Mount Moon. So today we'll tackle we start at the very least, hopefully we'll be able to do it all. The part of Route 4 that is outside of Mount Moon. On the other side, we got the left side when we entered it. We did the left side, the one with the Pokémon Center. Now we are doing the right side. And yeah, we'll see what waits us there. And then, potentially, at the very least, a glimpse, if not straight up starting, what's at the end of Route 4. But yeah. Without further ado, let's start. Okay, I exited Mount Moon. Yeah, this is the left side, the one from which we entered. Moved around some Pokemon there at the box. This is new. Yeah, we got a fossil. We got the Helix fossil. Simply shellfish here. And yeah, we're done. Then exited here from Mount Moon. On the other side, luckily only one counted because we actually went back and forth a little. Because of where to catch Clefairy also. But yeah. And yeah, we saved here. Route 4 we've already mentioned where it is, so it's position compared to the real world. It's worth mentioning that I can repeat. You might remember, I should have mentioned it, that there were two cities mentioned, Sanoshi and Tochigishi, both of the prefecture is Tochigi Ken, so the Tochigi prefecture, but yeah, also consider, yeah, it's on both sides, potentially also for, although also Route 3 mentions two cities, so yeah, no, it's simply more the position than anything. But yeah, first and foremost, let's check this sign then. And yeah, actually, here it already mentions what is coming. The sign says Koko wa Yonban Doro Otsukimiyama Hanadashiti. And yeah, first and foremost, Koko, part of the Kosodo series as usual, close to both the speaker and the listener. So far from the speaker, close to the listener, far from both, though the interrogative. Koso are usually an accented, the accent on Do itself. With the Ko, we get this place, and so then can simply say here. After that, we have the topic particle wa, written as ha. Then we have the numeral plus counter combination yonban. Ban, we have already seen, is the counter for numbers in Japanese. I used here Route 4, yeah, counter. Because of that reason. For the ban is of Chinese origin, but the number form usually uses yon instead, which is of strictly Japanese origin, to avoid the reading shi, the Chinese reading of the number 4, because it's identical to the reading for the kanji of death. So yeah. Yeah, here, for example, the number of death. Yeah, no. it is kept in some compounds, numerical plus counter combinations, but yeah, more often than not, ion. The N becomes technically then M because of the following B, so yeah, bilabial stop, the B, and so also the bilabial nasal M. The accent should be before ban. I'll still check just to be sure. Got the physical dictionary. Because yeah, while we have seen it before, actually we should have seen this one strictly already thanks to Mario World. Since yeah, there we got the numbers from 1 to 7 with this numeral plus counter combination thanks to the castles. But yeah, let me find it. Although there then we added me as a reminder, which is the makes it it's one of the way to make ordinal numbers in Japanese. Luckily in that case, when you add me, we have seen for the ban me then comes, it's always accent on me itself, so quite convenient. And yeah, with ban, yeah, there are some unaccented ones, and those are the ones that you should remember as the exceptions. But yeah, no, yon is not one of them. The exceptions are samban, as you have already seen so far here, goban, which we'll see again, and that's it, honestly. All the other ones before ban itself, of course, in this case with yon, the accent can stay on the N, so it moves further back, so it is on the yon. Yeah, yonban, number 4. Doro. Doro we've already seen in this game. Since we have already seen, of course, these routes, but it's worth repeating since we are seeing it here again. Usually road simply, or potentially highway. Accent on the first more, the second most common accent for these Chinese compounds. But yeah, the routes here in Pokemon games are at the very least this one, but I think in general then. But we'll see if we ever play other Pokemon games for the channel. Depends on them coming out also on Switch. But yeah. So yeah, so far, yeah, it says as for here, as for this place, implied it's so the copula route road number 4. And then we see again that we have actually seen this before at the entrance to here. Then it says Otsukimiyama, the dots, the suspension dots, not exactly in this case, we have seen it before. Hanadashi. So yeah, Maomun Otsukimiyama, we've already seen it. And yeah, then Hanadashi, Cerulean City. We'll check its name when we get to it, and we find also actually the sign this time. It will make more sense. But yeah, so simply that. We have to be careful here for a certain reason. Yeah, we have these two NPCs here. We'll talk to them, even though I don't think we'll make a use of their of what they want us to do. Not sure if I even have the... well, one Pokemon I should have at the very least for something, but we'll see. This one says Unaru Kobushi. First and foremost, we have Unaru, which is a verb. Unaru means, well, usually, technically, it's more to grown. But yeah, in this case, the related, technically, I suspect might be, no, though based on its kanji, maybe grown is the original meaning also. Yeah, regardless, another meaning is to roar, to growl. You can see how technically they are still emitting sounds of similar sounds with the mouth, technically. The kanji, of course, has the radical of mouth. The accented, okay. Yeah, in this case, definitely to roar. After it, we have a noun, so actually it's a verb in attributive position, modifying the following noun. Had we had a sentence before, so more words, it would be a relative clause, as usual, yeah, nothing new. The noun is kobushi. This is new, on the other hand. Kobushi means fist. Let me see, let's look if we can find its etymology on Wiktionary. Okay. We had a tip there as usual, but you know, we aren't interested in the okay, kobushi. Yeah, it looks, and that I could have told you already, that it could be a compound because of the bu of bushi. If that's the case, then most likely the ko is would be the diminutive prefix. We have even studied its kanji. And then fushi for joint nowadays. Let me actually check its accent. Fushi accented, okay. Yeah, technically it's still a body part, and yeah, makes sense. Then it has that joint knuckle. So you can see then why it could be from that. Its accent of the compound becomes an accent, so be careful. It's worth mentioning that technically there is present a kobushi with written with those kanji still, but that one has a different meaning. In that case, definitely it's clearly it's for sure a compound of that kind, but uses a different kind, a different meaning of fushi. In that case, tune, melody, by extension, most certainly from steel joint. But yeah, here fist would use a different kanji if it were written kanji. But yeah, also based on the context, yeah, we have this fighting these martial artists. But yeah, so a roaring fist. Then says sono Hakai Ryoku. Sono part of King of the Kosodo series with no the demonstrative adjective. So yeah, that, those technically, but yeah, no, in this case that singular, because the following we've already seen. Because of the following noun. Hakai Ryoku. Don't remember if I've seen this one specifically. Thanks to in this very series we have already seen other words with Ryoku as a suffix. And now we have even studied kanji. But let's go in order. Hakai should be an accent, I think, that we have seen elsewhere. An accent, yes, an accented Chinese compound, so makes sense, the most common accent for those. Distraction. And so then, yeah, we had the kanji Ryoku, strength, power, and so on. The accent of the compound is before Ryoku itself, so not on the I, because yeah, it becomes a diphthong I. So on the Ka, Hakai Ryoku. So no Hakai Ryoku. So yeah, combining those two words, destructive, power, energy, force, says the dictionary. Destructive power. So yeah, that destructive power of the Ronin Fist mentioned in the previous sentence. And yeah, that's because, yeah, then he says, Yahari Megaton Panchi Koso Saikyo no Wazada. So yeah, we have Yahari, first and foremost. I think we have seen it before for sure. Don't remember if in this very series. Is an adverb. Actually, the original form is yappari, and then they follow the tendency of making from adverbs more emphatic terms with the a doubling of the following consonant in between, so yes, adding a small su. But yeah, originally actually was yappari, but yeah, here they went backwards. Regardless, yahari or yappari, the accent, by the way, is always before the ri. Yeah, it's still one of those, not strictly in this case, but most likely like the onomatopoeias we have seen in ri. Yeah, that's usually the case for those. But yeah, this one means as expected, and so on. Sure enough, or after all. Yeah, so yeah. After all, I'd say in this case, Megaton Punchy. Yeah, that's why we had all that before. Yeah, Megaton Punch is the same as in English. Yeah, it's a move in Pokemon games from Megaton, present from English. Accented on the me, like in English, perfect. And then, yeah, punchy, punch. Notice that we had the I instead of the usual U, because otherwise we will get the S sound. And, you know, here they want the Ch sound, like in English, punch. So we have to add I, and the consonant can stay on its own as usual in Japanese. The accent is still on the pa, like in English, punchy. Being a compound of this kind, I suspect we keep only the accent of the second word, part of the compound. These compounds with English words, so yeah, Megaton punchy, instead of pronouncing both. After that we have koso, a particle which means exactly. It is that precisely, in particular, and so on. That's the fundamental meaning. Yeah, so it emphasizes that word. So yeah, I think yeah, it's exactly, precisely Megaton Punch. Then we have Saikyo. You might remember, because we have seen some of those before. Don't remember if also Saikyo in particular. I think maybe yes in this series, considering the context of Pokemon games. Might have been, for example, the Saikyo no Torena, the strongest trainer. Yeah, Saikyo means the strongest. Yeah, we have Sai at the start, which is most, and then the second kanji gives the meaning. So yeah, strong, Kyo is the kanji of Tsuyoi. And so yeah, we got the strongest. This one is an accented, typical for Chinese compounds. We have seen, although there's some of these with Sai, are accented on the first Mora, so yeah, be careful. Now this one is an accent, so yeah, Saikyo. Then we have the possessive particle no, and yeah, it's one of the strictly speaking, a noun, Saikyo, but one that takes the genitive case particle, the possessive particle, to make in practice an adjective. So yeah, strongest. Waza, technique. Move, of course, in the context of Pokemon games. Technique, art, skill, move. Yeah. Technique, I'd say the fundamental meaning, but yeah, in Pokemon games we would translate them as moves. We have even studied this kanji, so yeah, nothing new. And then last but not least, was accent and dust, Mora. So we can actually hear it here because yeah, then we added it's a noun, so yeah, we added the copula in plain speech, so yeah, that. So yeah, here is saying yeah, after all, it's precisely, precisely Megaton Punch is the strongest move. Okay, we can continue. And yeah, then it says, so omou daro. And yeah, first and foremost, so part of the Kosodo series once more with the U, which becomes then simply the longer, to make the longer vowel. So, way. So yeah, in that way. Here, actually used as an adverb, so it keeps its usual unaccented accent. We have seen that so is peculiar because it becomes accented so on the so itself when used in certain expression when it's technically a noun. But yeah, no, here an adverb as usual, an accent. So yeah. After that we have the verb omou. Omou, to think. We could say here to believe, then, but yeah, no, the fundamental meaning is simply to think. And then we have daro, we have seen it before, on its own technical accent on the ro of daro. But yeah, it's the conjunctural form of the copula. This one in plain speech, notice that we have the da still. With two meanings, yeah, the proper conjectural one, so yeah, seems, I think, I guess, I wonder, even better. So when someone genuinely isn't sure about something, the other usage, which is actually the one we can find here, clearly considering the context. Right? Don't you agree? I thought that you'd say that, so yeah. You can see how by extension, but yeah, no. you could say like in English, yeah, in that sense. We've seen, I've mentioned that the accent changes when with these two usages. This one should be the one where the ro stays completely low. So yeah, so mo the ro. And yeah, would make sense. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I had checked it eventually. The first times I never did, but yeah, no, eventually I did, and yeah, it was like that. But yeah, so you're saying, yeah, you think so, so you could also say that you think that that way apply to or better the translation you would think that's what you would think. Don't you agree? But yeah, so yeah, he's saying that. And yeah, last but not least, he says, sa omae no Pokémon ni oshie yo. And yeah, so first and foremost, sa, which is this exclamation expression with several meanings. The fundamental one, the most common one, I'd say, is the one "come on, come now," which we have seen before, to urge or encourage others. Yeah, this is our case here. Can also be resolved. In other contexts, also uncertainty or hesitation, and so on. But yeah, no. By the way, yeah, the accent, yeah, it's accented, so yeah, not on the a, which is clearly the, simply then a longer vowel of the sa. So yeah, on sa itself. Then he says, omae, the usual second person singular pronoun, so yeah, you in the singular, familiar language, male-formal language, and yeah, formerly honorific, as we can see because of the prefix o. Yeah, nowadays actually very informal. Possessive particle no, so yeah, of you, your, Pokémon. Particle ni, which is to. And then we have osheyo, from osheru, to teach. I know, in this case it's straight up to teach. We have seen then by extension it can also be to tell, to inform. But yeah, no, here to teach. Ruverbits and verbs are unaccented, by the way. Ruverbits and verbs, so we can drop the ru and then add yo, so actually no, yo, to make the vowel form. Here I'd say simply in its most common meaning, let's. So yeah, he's saying here, yeah, let's teach implied it, so yeah, the Megaton Punch, to your Pokemon. You can say yes or no, as usual, hi or ie. I'll try ie a second. Yeah, to so we can immediately see this. I might try once yes to see what happens. Even though I think we might skip them for now. They aren't the best. But we'll see in a second. But yeah, when you say no, it says Megaton Panchi no arigatami ga wakattara mata kuruga yoi. So yeah, first and foremost, Megaton Panchi again. Possessive particle no. Then we have this arigatami, which actually we have seen before, not in this form specifically, but we have already mentioned the word it comes from, arigatai, a compound adjective. Technically, at the end we would have a e adjective. It comes from aru, to be, as in to exist, of inanimate things, so objects, concepts, and so on, accented on its own. We would then add gatai, actually katai, but it becomes voice because it's the second word of a compound of strictly Japanese origin, and that happens more often than not to those. Gatai, katai, means difficult to do the action of that verb, used after verbs. Aru, by the way, verb go and verb I didn't mention. So we can change the u into I to make the conjunctive form to attach the second part of the compound. So gatai find after that. Nowadays, gatai isn't usually used for that meaning. We use nikui, but it's still present in some expression, including starting with this one. So literally difficult to exist in the sense that so that something special, rare, but we have seen, and so by extension something that someone should be grateful for. We have seen it. It's in the expression arigato gozaimasu. How you say thank you in Japanese. The fundamental one way to say that. But here we don't have that. We have then from arigatai, we drop the i to add this mi. This mi as a suffix is like ness in English. It's a suffix that makes that turns an adjective into it nominalizes it, like an S in English. Sweetness, as says also the dictionary. This one indicates a quality or feeling. We have seen another such suffix for adjectives, sa. I think we have seen, I'm pretty sure we have seen it before. There are some changes, technical. There are some. Sa we could say is more generic usually. Mi is more specifically for feelings, we could say. So in this case, for it works here for arigatai. Consider that grateful. Although in this case, by extension, more than that, it isn't actually gratefulness. It's more from that start of special, the something rare, and so by extension, the corresponding noun becomes actually value, worth, virtue, blessing, technically. But value, worth, I'd say. The accent of these. Unaccented. I think arigatai was already unaccented, but we'll check. But this one is for sure. So the worth of Megaton Punch, the value. No, okay, arigatai by the way accented, so be careful. Subject particle ga. Then we have Wakatara from Wakaru. We've already seen it before, definitely also in this series. Wakaru means to understand. intransitive verb, so actually, yeah, because it's more like something is clear to someone, so yeah, that someone understands it. As we have seen, actually, also based on its kanji, it's actually the intransitive form of wakeru. Wakeru means to divide, to split, and so on. To dissect, we could then also say. So yeah, if something is dissected figuratively, in the sense that yeah, then it's clear, and so someone understands it. And of course, actually, would be another of those expressions in Japanese with the person would be marked with the topic particle wa. The something that is understood is with the particle ga, and then the verb wakaru. We've seen it usually with adjective, but yeah, I'd say the same principle applies actually here. Wakaru, verb, verb, accented by the way. So, to make the form here, we have to follow the rules. It's in rules, so it becomes double consonant ta. Again, we follow the rules. Originally, we change the U into I to make the conjunctive form. Wakari, and then added ta. But then the I fell, wakarta, difficult to pronounce, so became double consonant ta. Here, it isn't just adding ta on its own, would be the past form of the verb. In plain speech. Here we also add a ra, and so actually we make another form of the conditional. If, when can also be used with a temporal meaning. Since it's made with the ta form of the, it's not a case that it's made with the ta form of the verb, because its meaning is more that something has already happened before. Whatever as is said in the sentence can happen. So if when you have understood, but yeah, after that we have mata, where we even studied actually not one. Well, both the kanji we would use more often than not if we use the kanji for this word, and another one. Mata means has several meanings technically, but the fundamental one is again. Yeah, it's that here. Then we have the verb kuru, accent to come. We have the subject particle ga, and then we have yoi, a adjective, which means good, usually found as i in contemporary Japanese, but yeah, sometimes it shows up. We usually go back to yoi when conjugating it. Yeah, no, there we're forced to do so even in contemporary Japanese, but yeah, sometimes even in its terminal form, it shows up, like in this case, especially, yeah, like in this case, yeah, here. In this kind of expression, and even more so where a martial artist is speaking. But yeah, here, this expression, gayoi, literally doing the action of the verb is good, in the sense that, yeah, you should come back, right? But yeah, so here is saying, yeah, when, I have no doubt that he would say, when that he is convinced that you will understand it, but yeah, regardless, when you have understood the value worth of megaton pants, you should come again. So when you say that, you say no, it says that. Let's try saying yes, just just to show case this, and yeah, we won't teach it also considering this, because yeah, immediately tells you after that that この技を教えてもらえるのは一度だけですがいいですか? And yeah, first and foremost, we have この these singular in this case, for sure, consider the context. Waza again, so yeah. This move, object particle o returns one pronounce as such in careful speech and also singing. Oshete, again, osheru, teach. Ru verb is some verb, so we can drop the ru to make the contractive form. In this case, to then simply attach the te for the te, make the te form. The form, which is required here because then after it we have moraeru from morau on its own to receive unaccented. After the te form of a verb we get the meaning to receive the favor of someone else doing the action of the verb in te. And yeah, like the verbs of giving, te, ageru, and so on. In that case, to give, figuratively give, the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. Morau, verb, and verb, so we can change the u into e and then add ru to make the potential form of the verb, so yeah, can do the favor, can receive the favor of the action of the verb in te. After it, we have the no, which in this case it's not the possessive particle as I was starting to say. Here it's the nominalizer for verbs. Thing as in fact. After it, we have the topic particle wa. So yeah, as for and what comes before. Then we have ichido. Ichido. Even though here it's written without the number, originally it's a numeral plus counter combination. And yeah, by the way, yeah, this is an example. We've seen another one recently. I don't remember which one though. Of another. I think it was in the sense of hitori or futari. Also for the number 2 then for futari. But yeah, numeral plus counter combination. Yeah, in this case I would say it's more likely that you would use the kanji instead of simply the number, because yeah, it has become a word technically more than the typical numeral plus counter combinations, in which case then you would use usually the Arabic numerals for convenience, as we have seen in this very game, a lot of those. But yeah, we have now studied the kanji for ichi, the number 1. We have seen that do as a counter, it can have two meanings. The one that we can see here is a counter for occurrences, so yeah, times. In which case the accent varies, unfortunately. For this one, it's accent on do itself. The other meaning is do as in grade, for temperature, or also, well, not grade, but in English, degrees, so for temperature, or an angle. In that case, the accent is always before do itself, so way more convenient, but yeah, no. Luckily, ichido, we have seen it before, we see it a lot, it's quite used, so it's easy to remember then that it's accent on the last mora. After it, so yeah, one time, once. After it, we have dake, the particle which means only. Simply, just, also, but yeah, only here. Des, copula in polite speech, actually. So, interesting enough, here, after all those exclamations, he is actually switching here to polite speech. After it, we have got here, it's the conjunction with the meaning but. We have seen also, though, that it can be used more than strictly a but. Can also be translated technically as and in English. Especially considering that one usage of this guy is to have an introductory remark. That's also why. After it, we have E. Here we can see it in its more typical form when found without conjugating it. E adjective. So when to make the polite form of that, we simply add the copula, even though we have seen that as shown in plain speech, the adjectives don't require the copula, and actually also in polite speech here, if we had conjugated the adjective, we would still conjugate it and then simply put s again. So that's only marks that it's polite. We always use s for the adjectives. We don't conjugate s itself, like for nouns. But yeah. Last but not least, the interrogative particle, final sentence particle, the interrogative particle, because it's a question. And then also we have the question mark here, so we are sure that it's a question instead, because ka can also be used for for rhetorical questions. We have seen it in practice before. Don't remember if in this very series, but for sure. So that's why, of course, actually in when spoken in spoken Japanese, we would not have the question mark. You could tell if it's an actual question or not because of the intonation, because then there will be arise "I desu ka?" like this, while it will stay low if it were a rhetorical, more usual, more typically also with the negative of copula before it. So janai, but janai ka. But then we can choose yes or no. I wonder if if I say no, we get sent back again. Surprisingly, it says already that. By the way, makes sense that it was actually in polite speech that because notice, look at the box, the message box. When I say yes, we switch from this rounded one, to the square one, because it's actually the game, the system speaking to us in this case. So that's warning us about you can learn it only once. So there, that's polite. Unlike this guy being a martial artist, noise. We try say yes just to see what he says. But again, we won't teach it now. First and foremost, we have Yosh. Yoshi. The accent is on the first more regardless of the yo. Because it's actually the classical form, the form in classical Japanese of the adjective yo, which we have already seen, so good. In contemporary Japanese still used, but as an interjection, so alright, okay. By the way, the E of, as I pronounced it, Yosh, the E of she can become barely heard if at all because of the preceding unvoiced consonant, and it's at the end here. There's a pause after it. So yeah, because of that. Then it's yeah, dono. Again, part of the consonant series with the do, the interrogative. Again with no, so yeah. The adjective, which with dono, it's actually between. We see that there's also another one. Actually, we might have seen it before, or at least we have seen the other words for it. Dochira literally means which way, direction, side. Yeah, dochira is used as which one of two alternatives, especially of two alternatives. While dono is which, more in general, and so yeah, actually more. Like in this case, yeah, which Pokemon we have potentially more, and yeah, like in this case we have. Then we have the particle ni. Here required by the following verb suru on its own, suru to do unaccented. When we add the ni before it, we get this expression, which means to choose. Cioè, choose whatever comes before the particle ni. There are other usages with the particle ni, but yeah, no, this is one of the most, I'd say the most common one. With the particle ni with in conjunction with suru. Then we have the again, actually, no, the nominalize for verbs no, because in fact, the interrogative particle. So yeah, here is saying which Pokemon will you choose? Yeah, we can translate it as like that, because actually the present form of the verb in Japanese can be used to make also a simple future. Yeah, technically we could teach. You can immediately tell also in Japanese, even if you didn't know it. Yeah, by the way, here on the bottom says Dono Pokemon ni oshemasu ka? So again, don't which two here simply ni as a two which Pokemon, and yeah, oshemasu ka. Oshemasu from oshieru once more to teach. We can drop the ru and make the contractive form. In this case, to add the auxiliary verb mas to make, which is used to make the polite form of verbs. And then again the usual ka interrogative particle. So, to which Pokemon will you teach? Implied this move. And yeah, we have most of our Pokemon here. It says Oboerarenai. Oboeru, we have seen it before, I think, also in this very series. Oboeru accented means to memorize, to learn by a heart, and also then simply to remember. By extension, also to learn, but yeah, because of that original meaning of the verb. Ru verb with some verb, so we can change the u into a and then add reru, as shown actually by the one here with like Pikachu with the exclamation mark then, to make here, well, could be technically the passive form of the verb or the potential one, and you know, in this case clearly the potential one considering the context. We could also drop the ru, sorry, no, there are for the potential form, so that's also clearer, so to distinguish between the two, and also first and foremost for convenience, And by the way, to make it easier to distinguish and also make it more in line with the potential form, as we have seen for of U verbs, Ichidan verbs, which changes simply the U into E and then add the RU. But yeah, so for Pikachu and Mankey, it says that they can learn it. And so you can you can tell also at a glance with the exclamation mark. I don't remember if that's the case in English or in Italian. Of course, I played it in Italian myself. Watch others playing in English for sure, but I don't remember. But yeah, convenient technically if you are playing it in Japanese and you still don't know it well enough. You can tell at a glance. Those with exclamation mark can learn it. Those without it can't. Because this passive or potential, in our case potential form, is a RU verb, is some verb, so we can then also drop the RU to make the, in this case, irrealis not a state form, negative base, we could say in contemporary Japanese, to add then nai, a adjective, which means non-existent on its own, and so also used to make the negative form of verbs in plain speech. So can't, cannot, learn, everyone else, takes more space, so that's also why there isn't the exclamation mark. It straight up doesn't fit, but by adding it to the other ones, you can tell at a glance. But we aren't teaching it. I could show it though. Okay, I'm tempted to do so. Here I got there in a loop. I'm thinking of showcasing it for a reason, which actually I'll mention here. I have to be careful though. We have those two there. This space down there. You might have noticed a certain something. An item here. A girl up there, but here we have ledges. But it's a one-way route there, so you have to be careful. We might check then, we are definitely checking out the rest of the dialogue, what the other guy also has to say. I might showcase also how the teaching of move works without then completing it, and also check the descriptions of these two moves. But we'll see it all that potentially after our usual break, around 2-3 minutes, let's say, this time as usual. See you then. And we're back. Yeah, so we can continue. And yeah, I think we will check these things because otherwise it will be a long time before we can. So I will take it as a chance to do so. Yes. We also have some additional dialogue. I showcase with Mankey, even though again I don't want to teach it. You see why. I don't think we have mentioned this. So yeah, we are seeing it for the first time. Mankey wa Atarashiku Megaton Pansy o Oboetai. First and foremost, we have the name of our Pokemon, of course, Mankey, topic particle wa. Atarashiku from Atarashi, new, should be accented, but I'll check. Here we can drop the E and add Ku to make, technically, we could say the contractive form of the adjective. But here in its adverbial usage, so yeah, newly, technically, better maybe freshly in a way here, but yeah, newly technically. Yeah, accent. So by the way, the accent should move the accent of the adjectives in their dictionary form with the E is on the second to last mora, so yeah, Atarashi on the shi. With the Ku form, it moves on the third to last mora, so yeah, Atarashiku in our case on the Ra. But yeah, after that we have Megaton Pansy, of course, object particle O, Oboetai, again from Oboeru. Ru verbs and verbs, so we can drop the Ru to add Tai in this case. Continuative, yeah, to make the continuative form, and then to attach Tai, Tai, which is an auxiliary E adjective, which means want to, would like to do the action of the verb, the desiderative, so yeah. Suspension dots then and exclamation mark, so yeah, here is saying, yeah, as for Mankey, wants to learn Megaton Punch in this case, newly, yeah, in the sense, of course, simply that, yeah, because it's a new move. Yeah, then it says Shikashi Mankey wa waza o yotsu oboeru no de sei ippai da. Yeah, first and foremost, Shikashi. We have already seen it before. I've already mentioned. They first, she, the E is barely heard if at all, always, because it's between our voice consonants. The second one, we could apply technically the other rule, but that one is optional strictly. It's not as the one between unvoiced consonants, yeah, there it applies unless there is a sequence of those one after the other, then some might not to avoid only pronouncing almost consonants. For example, if we had a ki here, shki, yeah, no. But yeah, there it does apply unless, apart from the case, you know, with the one at the end before a pause, you could, and for example, usually you do in the case of mas, the S in standard Japanese, in polite speech, but yeah, here I'd say more optional technically. But yeah, regardless, a conjunction, which means however, monkey, y again, so yes, for monkey, was a, the move, object particle o, numeral plus counter combination, but yeah, this is the usual one with tsu, the general purpose counter, of strictly Japanese origin, so we use the strictly Japanese numeral yon, although in this case we only use yo and the small tsu, and then there's also the typical small tsu before this, the tsu general purpose counter. Yeah, we've seen it happen to other ones, but yeah, yo tsu, so the accent should be before the yo, on the yo. No, actually, sorry, it's on the tsu. Good thing I checked. The only we've seen hitotsu, there it's before tsu, so on the top, but yeah, that's typical of the number one. Let me check the other ones while we're at it. I do remember there are other ones, but yeah, many of them are accented on tsu itself. Yeah, like yotsu, which we have seen here. Futatsu should be also mitsu. But before going on, I want to check it before potentially saying something, saying it wrong for the accent. Okay, but I can't find it there. I have to see them. It is weird though that it's okay, it's not present there. So I'll check them simply here. But yeah, yotsu accented on the tsu. So yeah, 4 of a general with the general purpose counter. Yeah, when we don't have, or at the very least, it's not usually used specific counter. Yeah, we use this. Yeah, like here 4 moves. Oboeru again. So yeah, learn. We could simply say here. More strictly speaking, would be to memorize. Then we have node. A conjunction original clearly actually it combines no here as the nominalizer for verbs with the here as the te form of the copula, so being like that, and so yeah, from that origin its meaning is because. Like kara, but there are some differences between the two, but yeah, we won't mention them now. And then says this sei pai. Sei pai is a compound, a Chinese compound, but of 3 kanji in this case. Yeah, ipai, actually we can start with that first and foremost. Yeah, it's the usual numeral plus counter combination with high counter for caps, and then by extension also kafus, better in English technically, baofus, spoonfuls even, says the dictionary. By the way, from cap technically also used for glasses. But yeah, when we use this, so literally we have the I before it with the small tsu. Yeah, it's a contraction of ichi number 1, high is of Japanese origin. Of Chinese origin. That's why we use the Chinese numeral. And by the way, originally was pi, and the p is kept here because of the doubling of the following constant. On its own and in other contexts, we applied the usual rules of the evolution of the p sound in Japanese. But yeah, as I was saying, I wanted to mention once more the rules for ipai, for the accent. If I recall correctly, it should be before high, I think always, and that's... okay, no, there is an exception. Go high, the number 5, that's one that tends to be unaccented. Yeah, no, the other one's always accented before high, so yeah, you have to be careful only about the number 5. But yeah, one cup, literally, we have seen it also by extension, then full, and then in that case it can change the accent because it becomes an accent when used as an adverb with the meaning full. Instead of the usual one before the counter. In this case, we had before it sei, but yeah, in standard Japanese usually pronounced as se, long e. Some still pronounce it as a, and also of course consider the varieties of Japanese outside of standard. Se, this one means in this case, I'd say simply energy. There are other meanings. So literally energy and then full. And so the meaning usually of this sei pai is the best one can do, one's best effort. Or even better technically with all one's might. That might be actually the original meaning, and then by extension the one more used nowadays, the best one can do. Literally would be full of energy. I'm not sure here. Yeah, it's kind of weird here. I think it's it could be in a kind of wordplay sense, because yeah, it's saying that however, yeah, then this is a noun, say pi. By the way, the accent stays accented on the e of ipai, as if it were used the accent of as a compound numeral plus counter combination, as we said. Could also be if we consider it that as the second part of a compound, and then it would be on the first more of the second word part of the compound, a typical spot for this. Regardless, yeah, it's accented there. So here it's saying, however, as for Mankey, it knows, we could say in this case, then simply for moves, because it knows for moves, it's we can use the translation there, to the best of one's ability, technically of seipai. Here, at the best of its ability, in the sense that it's actually has learned them all, so already is full. Also ipai in the sense. Here then says Megaton Panchi no kawari ni hoka no waza o wasure sasemasu ka? Megaton Panchi again, possessive particle no. Kawari. Kawari comes from kawaru, verb con verb. This one should be the unaccented. In general, to change, but then depending on the kanji we use, the meaning changes, funny enough, to an extent, or better, it gets more specified. Yeah, in this case, we would use the kanji, which means to substitute, to change as in someone, to take someone's place. By changing the u verb con verb, we can change the u into e to make the continuative form, and so the corresponding noun, this one, substitute, then replacement. Then we have the particle ni, to, or we could say as. We have to adapt it still because of that word, but we'll see it when we translate it. Then we have hoka. Hoka means another, on its own, more another place. More often than not, we can see it used as with the particle no, so again a noun which takes that particle to make in practice an adjective. Hoka should be an accent, but let me check. Yes, it is. Another, after it was a, so another move, object particle o. Wasuresa semaska, the ka at the end, the usual interrogative particle. So wasuresa semas, from wasureru, which means to forget. The accent, an accent, I suspected so, but I didn't pronounce it correctly at first. But wasureru, to forget. Ru verb is some verb, so we can drop the ru and then add sa, se, ru to make the causative form. So to make someone do the action of the verb, or to let someone do the action of the verb. Ru verb is some verb, the causative form, so we can drop the ru, like we can see here, to make the continuative form. Again, to simply add mass, make the polite form of the verb. Because again, it's the in-game system that's saying all these are the messages of the in-game system. Here is asking us, will you make Mankey implied forget another move, singular in this case because consider the context, in place of Megaton Punch, so in the sense of to replace it with Megaton Punch. We say yes for now to continue see these. Here it says Dono waza o wasure sasetai. Don again, which was a move, object particle o. Wasure sasetai again from wasureru, causative form wasure saseru. Drop the ru in this case to add tai, so make the want to, would like to. So which move would you like to make it forget? By the way, here they simplified it. To actually make it in polite speech, here we would have, here it would be in plain speech. We would have to add des to mark the polite speech, and then most certainly also add ka as the interrogative particle, even though that's that one even less so is strictly isn't strictly needed, but So yeah, we'll take a chance here to also check out the description here of Megaton Punch. But even before that, well, the effect, as it says there, we should have seen before that Iryoku is the strength. Notice that contains Ryoku again, but here we have a Chinese compound of 2 kanji. So yeah, Iryoku, accent on the first more, so it's one of those with the second most common accent for those. So yeah, power, then better, yeah. 80, actually pretty powerful. Notice that our strongest current move is 50, but it has an accuracy, Mei 2. That one should be an accent, but we'll check. Literally hitting the mark, but direct hit, but yeah, no, in the sense. Actually, here, because most certainly is implied the Ritsu of rate, so yeah, accuracy rate, Mei 2 Ritsu. The accent of that I don't see here. If I recall correctly, the accent before... I'll take the other physical dictionary just to be completely sure. Yeah, I got the other physical dictionary. Want to check, just to repeat it, the accent of when we had the Ritsu as a suffix. And yeah, luckily, as I remember correctly, so yeah, before Ritsu itself. Mei 2 Ritsu, of course, can stay on the U, which is the long vowel, so it moves on the Chu. But yeah, so actually simply that, but shortened here, yeah, no, not hitting direct hit or hitting the mark on its own. Yeah, it's 85, so yeah, not the perfect 100 like our other moves, in which case when it's 100, unless the opponent lowers your accuracy, always hits. This one risks not to hit anyway, so yeah, that's why I'm not the biggest fan. And also notice that it's a normal move. Of course, I would prefer on Mankey first and foremost fighting moves. Maybe something else, but yeah, no. And not the most exciting move, and anyway, we might keep it for someone else potentially in the future. Its effect, Koka, so its description we could say, but yeah, straight up says Koka, which means effect, Chinese compound. Another one accented on the first more should be, I've seen it before, yes, it is. But yeah, the description says, Chikara o kometa Panchi o kuridashite, aite o nagoritsukete kogeki suru. And yeah, first and foremost we have Chikara. Now we have even studied this kanji. Yeah, it's the same kanji as Ryoku, force, strength, and so on. By extension, also capability, ability. We have seen it in Kirby games, first and foremost in Kirby's Adventure. Accent on the last syllable. Object particle o kometa from komeru. We have seen this verb before, especially because of its usages. And also of the related komu after as the second verb part of compounds. But yeah, komeru on its own accented means to put into. And so, yeah, various extended meanings related to that, to include, could say also. But yeah, root verb is some verb, so we can simply drop the root, continue to then attach the ta, make the form past form of the verb in plain speech. Here, after it, we have a noun punch, so yeah, relative clause. I punch that, and everything before that. Object particle O. Kuridaste. I don't remember if it was exactly Kuridasu that we have seen before, potentially even in this very series. Kuru, we have seen for sure, not the Kuru to come, which we have already mentioned today. This one is Kuru, which means to reel, to wind, to spin. U verb, gun verb, so we can change the U into I, make the conjugative form, in this case to then attach the second verb part of the compound, dasu. Dasu, where you can study kanji to put out, other several extended meanings from that, to take, get, put out, accented on its own. So yeah, when we add that, we combine these two, to reel, to wind, and then to put, take, get out, we get the meaning. Well, there are technically other ones. Here, I think we have actually seen it before then, because I seem to remember this. Literally would be to send out one after another, to dispatch. No, okay, better, because they're straight up the meaning, clearly still related. To lunge a spear, but also to unleash a punch. Yeah, actually I think it's literally because technically you wind, reel, wind, or you wind up the punch in this sense, or because yeah, you extend it and then it comes back, one or the other. The dash is clearly because yeah, it goes out simply. But yeah, so yeah, it's the verb required for this punch, to unleash the punch. And yeah, better in that sense, because yeah, in this case it isn't one after the other. In this case, it's a single punch. So yeah, here yeah, dasu and so also kuridasu. Luckily also accent like dasu on its own. So yeah. No exceptions here. U verb, gun verb, so we can change the. We have to follow the rules for the T form, but luckily it's in su, so we change the U into I, conjugative form, and then simply attach the T. No changes, no contractions, and so on. T form here in its most common usage, in its usage and on its own. So yeah. Do the action of the verb and the rest of the sentence, or while doing the action of the verb. Then we have Aite, yeah, the usual term for opponent in Pokemon games, other party we could say in general, and so also companion, funny enough. But yeah, no, in this case, yeah, opponent. Accent on the last mora is a strictly Japanese compound. So technically could see it, the accent on the first mora of the second word part of the compound. Object particle O. Then we have Naguri Tsukete. I wonder if I straight up find this one. I think so, but yeah. Comes from Naguru, which on its own, accented already means to strike, to hit, to beat, to punch. And then, yeah, verb on verb, we can change the U into I to make the conjugative form, and then to attach the second verb part of the compound. They use tsukeru to apply, to add, to attach, and so on. So, to apply the hitting, and so on. And in this case, it's simply it simply emphasizes the meaning of the first verb. And yeah, the meaning becomes to hit hard, to strike hard. But yeah, you could say applying one's even more force when in hitting. Yeah, regardless. Lucky the accent, like Skyru on its own accented. Again, the form of the verb, so yeah, same as above. Last but not least, Kogeki Suru. And yeah, Kogeki we have seen thanks to this very game, as it's the attack start. Yeah, Kogeki means attack. A Chinese compound, an accent. We have even studied the kanji of Geki, which on its own means to beat, to attack, and so on. Yeah, we should have studied it, I think, in Kirby's Adventure. But yeah, Kogeki, Chinese compound, an accent like most of those are. It's a noun, so to make it turn into a verb, we had suru, to do, so literally do an attack, so yeah, to attack. Yeah, so the translation here is by unleashing a punch filled with strength, that is filled with strength, you hit you hit hard the opponent and attack the opponent still, attack them. So yeah, we have checked that out, and we want to teach it. Actually, yeah, there I actually did my mistake. We can actually see it again when we check the other one. Because yeah, now we'll check what the other guy has to say. Yeah, it will be mostly identical technically. There are the changes because yeah, it's another move. Yeah, this one is different at first because it says Hageshi carry. Hageshi, I think we might have seen before. Don't remember if in this very series. Hageshi is a adjective which means violent, furious, by extension then extreme, intense, fierce, and so on. Accented. And then we have carry from Kairu. We check it's their accent. Kairu means to kick. As I think we've actually seen, originally was a ruverbic verb. As usual, for notice that eru, yeah, ruverbs, verbs in eru and iru are usually ruverbs verbs, but there are some exceptions. And despite the origin of this one, which used to be an Ichidan verb, and we have found it in this very series, I think, as simply ke, because of that, in a compound. You know, nowadays it has become a U verb colon verb, so be careful. Accented, okay, I remember correctly. So yeah, we can change the U into I, as we can see here, to make the conjugative form, and so the corresponding noun. Carry, so yeah, means kick as the noun. Accent on the last more, as usual, the usual rule. So yeah, a violent kick, a fierce kick, we could also say. And yeah, again, that destructive force. And yeah, repeats the same. What changes is that this one is Megaton Kiku, of course. Megaton Kick. Kiku from English, of course. Notice, unlike the additional doubling of the consonant in Japanese, so be careful about that. The accent is like in English, yes, it is. again becomes a compound, so it's like Megaton Kick. We keep the accent only of Kick and not of Megaton. But yeah, again, same. So after all, precisely Megaton Kick, it's the strongest move. So yeah, they are arguing about this. You would think so, wouldn't you? Or better, you should think so. You think that way, don't you? Come now. Let's teach it to one of your Pokemon. I will say yes. Actually, yeah, I pressed B because I actually wanted to show this, but yeah. Same structure, yeah. So yeah, he's saying again, when you have understood the value of Megaton Kick, you should come again. Yeah. But no, we want to say actually yes. As usual, we can teach it only once. Same, so yeah, asking there. Okay, alright. To which Pokemon do you want to teach it? And yeah, again, only Pikachu and Mankey. We choose Mankey again, just to showcase it. Say yes. Megaton Kick is way stronger, as you can see here. 120, that's a lot. But the accuracy is even lower, 75. So yeah, that's why. As for the description, the fact, so the description says, Monosugoi Chikara o kometa kikku de aite o ketobashite kougeki suru. And yeah, first and foremost, we have Monosugoi. We already have seen both terms on their own. Yeah, Mono, we've even studied kanji, it's the usual one for thing as in object, accented on the last mora on its own Mono. Sugoi is the adjective accented, which means both terrible and terrific, more often than not the latter. So yeah, then we can simply say amazing, great, and so on. But yeah, by combining the two, yeah, literally thing that's terrific and so on. Terrible, so yeah, actually same meanings technically. Terrific, staggering, tremendous, incredible. Oh yeah, clearly instead of using Sugoi, we have this bigger, this compound. This one it says even more. It's even more intense. I noticed that yeah, technically even the translations already are more intense in English. Yeah, the other one, yeah, also terrible, frightful, ghastly, or horrific, awful, gruesome. But yeah, first and foremost, definitely, yeah, as in incredible in our case here. Although technically, yeah. After it, we have Chikara once more, the strength, power, or however you want to translate it. Such a particle O, Kometa once more, following, then kick, so yeah, again, relative close. Practically same structure apart from that Monosugoi at the start. Then we have the part De, which in this case is a particle with the meaning with. So yeah, with a kick, I'd say here. Aiteo once more, so yeah, the opponent. Ketobashite. And yeah, actually we can see once more here what I mentioned about Kairu. Because yeah, this is a the cat start, is keru. Here we, following the conjugation that used to have in classical Japanese, so we drop the ru to make the conjugative form, to then attach the second verb part of the compound. So you have to keep that in mind, because actually in compounds like this one, it can show up ke instead of keri. Tobasu is from, well, we could say actually is from tobu, which on its own, that one means to fly, also to jump by extension. You can see it when you consider that technically to start flying, you jump. Here though we have tobasu. Change the u into a and then add su. It's the transitive form of the verb. But as you can see by how I mentioned it, how you make it, it's actually a classical form of the causative. Verb in u, the intransitive, the one in asu, the transitive, but the one in asu is actually the causative of the intransitive in u. Nowadays simply intransitive, transitive. Literally to, as can be seen also with the translations, to let or make fly, all other similar meanings, still unaccented of course. But in this case, literally to then also to let, to make, to send flying. So we could say in this case to send flying by kicking with a kick. So literally is that. So then simply we could say to kick hard or to kick away. Regardless, che tobasu, luckily still an accent like tobasu. U verb can verb. So to make that a form, which is again becomes ste. Usual usage of the form, as we have already mentioned. And then last but not least, once more, koge kisuru. Notice that we have the repetition of the koge kisuru at the bottom. As can be seen in other, not all, I've just checked quickly, there typical end for moves that are attacking moves. Not present in all of them. No, actually, I've just noticed present, yes, also in those, yes. It's what, from that you can immediately tell that it's an attacking move. But I didn't notice in some of them because actually there were two sentences. But we'll consider checking those another time. But I wanted to check these two because of we won't be back here anytime soon, and I'm not teaching them to my Pokemon currently. This I forgot to mention here. When you go back without teaching it, it says Sorede wa Megaton Kikku in our case here. O oboeru no o akirame maska. First and foremost, we have Sorede wa. We have seen it before also it contracted Soreja. The wa gets contracted into ja, a usually. Ja, but can also be become longer than. Sore, that, simply the demonstrative pronoun. Then in this case again the form of the copula. Being like that, we could say then. After it, the topic part go was, so literally as for it being like that, we've seen that we can also translate the form with then the following particle wa the topic particle as if that's the case. So yeah, and if if in English in that case, but yeah, literally in Japanese it's as for that being the case, special dots. The name of our move here, Megaton Kick, object particle O, Oboeru once more to learn. The Luminizer no, object particle O. What we haven't seen is Akirame Mass from Akirameru. I think we might have seen it before. I don't remember if in this very series or not. Akirameru means to give up, abandon. I think somewhere else, because I might have mentioned it because of that other Akirameru not related, but no, I think we might have also found it. But yeah, accented. Root verb is some verb, so yeah, again, we can drop the root to add a mass or form. Interrogative particle K. So yeah, here is asking us, so yeah, if that's the case, as for that being the case, will you give up learning Megaton Kick? So you want to say yes. If you say no, like I actually did by mistake before, you get sent into a loop. So yeah, you go back to the as for Mankey wants to learn the name of the move, Megaton Kick here, newly, and again. Yeah, here I press B, so yeah, it's sent now once more to the you want to give up, will you give up? Yeah, we say yes. Yeah, last but not least, yeah, it says when you say that you will give up it, learning the move, Mankey wa Megaton Kick wo oboezu ni owatta. Mankey, of course, topic particle wa, Megaton Kick once more, object particle o, oboezu ni. Yeah, this is quite interesting. First and foremost, oboeru again, verb is some verb, so we can drop the ru in this case to make the realis not just stay form, negative base. And yeah, because after it we add this zu, which on its own is a classical form, is a classical auxiliary, negative auxiliary. We have actually seen it before in its other form, nu. Yeah, nu is actually another form of zu, depending on its conjugation. Let's not zu. Well, actually, I can mention it. Zu should be, technically speaking, the terminal form. Nu should be the attributive form, strictly speaking, if I recall correctly. But yeah, regardless. So another form of the negative. Then we have this ni, which I suspect is simply then the continuative form of nari. Nari is a classical copula. Continuative form, so actually with the meaning being in that case like that, and the rest of the sentence, or by doing, while doing, and so on. You might have noticed, yeah, the same translations as the te form, but that's because actually the te form itself is a continuative form of an auxiliary found in classical Japanese. So unsurprisingly, the continuative form already has that meaning, can be used that way. In contemporary Japanese, as we have seen before, we have already mentioned this, that the form is used more often than not. When we use only the continuative form, it's more formal. But yeah, no, in this case it's straight up required by the expression. So when we add zu ni to the irrealis, not the state, negative base of a verb, we get the meaning without doing. Yeah, it's practically like naide, the usual auxiliary used to make the verb negative in plain speech, and then we would add the as it to make it the form. So yeah, practically the same, but yeah, both these expression exists. This one, of course, technically, yeah, you can already see it is shorter, so yeah, quite convenient for that, and it shows up. And then, yeah, last but not least, we have the verb owatta from Owaru. We have seen it a lot, especially because we have seen it. It's found also in menus in games. Owaru means to end, to finish. The intransitive form of the verb, so something ends. Strictly speaking, I won't repeat it all. Notice the a and then ru as mentioned. Yeah, it's a classical form of the passive. But yeah. So yeah, waru unaccented. U-verb, going verb, it's in ru. So yeah, again, becomes the consonant a to make that a past form of the verb in plain speech. So here it's saying, yeah, as for Mankey, it ended without, it ended, of course, not Mankey, well, as for Mankey, for him, for her, actually, it's a girl, this one. It ended the learning of, I'd say in this case, technically the learning of the move and so on. Well, without learning Megaton Kick. Yes, yes, that. And yeah, this, then this, but yeah, we check this out. Yeah, we practically ran out of time by doing all that. But yeah, we had to check it. We found a berry, Zuri no Mi. So boy, we have to check that as well. Lucky we have checked that. Yeah, new berry. Yeah, this Zuri in particular, in this case, I suspect is simply, okay, I think it's straight up, because yeah, you can see it, that it kind of looks like a raspberry, apart from the color or something like that, but I don't think it's related to that. Well, of course. Well, actually, it could Zuri in Japanese. For raspberry, we would usually simply use the English term. So yeah, Ra-zu-be-ri. So actually, the zu and the ri, yeah, it could be also because of that. Okay, I think it's simply that again. As we have seen also for the other berries, part of the names of the fruits in Japanese. But yeah, the accent for raspberry, by the way, yeah, berry, like in Japanese, in English, raspberry, and in Japanese, raspberry on the berry. By the way, what's worth mentioning is, apart from the usual additional powers for the U for the zoo, is the long vowel for very. Yeah, so keep that in mind. But yeah, the description here says Suri tsubushite kona ni suru to kusuri no zairyo o ni naru. Okay, first and foremost we have Suri tsubushite, so Suri tsubusu, a compound verb from suru. Yeah, no, this is not the suru to do. It should be suru, the other one. I would say from the one that means there's another suru which means to rub. And other extended meaning, but maybe not even strictly this one. But I suspect it's that one, from that one. I wouldn't say an extended form of suru, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I can actually see by the kanji, usually not used for suritsubusu, but I can see that, yeah, it would use one of the variants, it can use the variants of the kanji for suru, so yeah, makes sense then. Yeah, so as I suspected, simply from the verb to rub. Actually, I mentioned the accent. Yeah, no, suru to do unaccented. This one actually suru accented on the first mora. But yeah. U verb con verb, we can change the U into I to make the conjunctive form, and that's the second verb part of the compound, which is tsubusu. Actually an accented tsubusu means to smash, crash, other extended meanings. So yeah, literally from combining to rub and to smash, crash, smash would simply keep. It actually means this verb to mash, to grind, pulverize, and so on. The accent becomes accented, so be careful, like tsubusu on its own. Yeah, another one of those exceptions. U verb con verb, it's in su, so it can simply stay. I'd say in this case by doing that, by mashing, grinding, pulverizing. Then we have kona. We have mentioned it before. Here simply as in powder. Can also mean flour by extension, of course. Kona accented on the last mora. Then we have the particle ni. And then we have suru after it, but yeah, in this case it's not the choose that. In this case is make it into. So yeah, same structure, ni into, like we have seen with naru, to become, with the verb naru means to become, so yeah, to turn into. You know, when we make something into something, something else, yeah, we can use ni suru. After it we have to, so in this case as a conjunction, another form of the conditional if when. This one the closest to the zero conditional in English. Then we have kusuri. Kusuri. I won't check its if there is an etymology for it, but I mentioned incidentally that could be that suri of kusuri could be related to the suru to the verb suru we mentioned, or could be just a coincidence. But if that's the case, it's a convenient one. You could use it at the very least as a as a mnemonic. I'm thinking about that because, of course, of the wrapping, technically. and then with this Suritsubusu mash grind, because of course medicines in the past were usually powders. But yeah, regardless, Kusuri unaccented, possessive particle no. Zairyo, a Chinese compound, which means ingredient, material. Yeah, also material in other senses and so on. Chinese compound, but this is one of the weird ones. It's accented on the ryo. So I'd say actually most likely on the final mora, but yeah, it can stay on the u, the accent, so it moves on the ryo. Zairyo. Be careful, it's one of the exceptions. And then yeah, actually we have Ninaru, which I've already mentioned. So yeah, here it says, yeah, if you turn it, can adapt it in English, turn it into a powder by grinding it, it becomes an ingredient, a material for medicine. Yeah, so check that out. Okay, considering that, yeah, we technically have this item left. Let me see everything else. Yeah, I'd say we can end it here then. Yeah, no, I don't think I missed other things. Yeah, by the way, as a reminder, here in the overworld in FireRed Leaf Green, it's easy to spot hidden items when on grass, because yeah, there's the straight up notice the shadow. Yeah, it's because of that. But yeah, so yeah, next time we'll save here for now, and yeah, next time we'll check out these other item, and then finally get to the new city and everything else. There's also, you might have noticed, tall grass. But yeah. And yes, so today we have continued Pokémon FireRed. Yeah, we've checked most, actually most of what we can do here in Route 4. In this part, before jumping down, the only thing left is that item. We saved in front of that. Yeah, we've seen those two arguing about which is the strongest move, the Megaton Punch and Megaton Kick. We checked out all their descriptions and so on, because we won't be back here anytime soon. And I'm refusing to teach them for now to any Pokemon, considering the lower accuracies. We also got that hidden item. But yeah, so next time, as already mentioned while I was saving, we'll get the item, check it out if it's new, potentially also its description, jump down, and yeah, first and foremost, I'd say we'll actually go heal, because we need it, our Pokemon are hurting. And so we'll most likely also check the name of the city at the very least. Then I suspect we'll go back to Route 4. I don't remember if there are new I think there should be more Pokemon here, new Pokemon here in the tall grass, which I mentioned at the very end there. And you might have noticed it yourself. If there are, we'll go also there. But yeah, so yeah, these are our plans. As usual, unless plans change, actually, we'll continue FireRed on Monday. On Wednesday, we'll have our other Let's Learn Japanese with series, Kairu no Tameni Kane Wanaru, The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls. On Friday, again, also Pokémon FireRed. In between, this Sunday, we'll have a stream mostly just for fun. I'm actually thinking of taking part in the DK Challenge. It's Ohio, yeah. Thank you. Glad you are looking forward to the next stream. And of course, you can check, you can watch also the VOD when it's more convenient for you. Yeah, I know that in Japan it's morning at this this hour, but yeah, since these are the Let's Learn Japanese with series, of course I put them at hours that should be more convenient for those well, here in Europe and going west, because yeah, of course those are the ones that should learn Japanese. But yeah, I'm glad I have Japanese viewers that are enjoying my streams. Thank you. I see also the reactions there. Yeah, I'm glad you are enjoying my streams. But yeah, of course, I'm apart that I prefer using YouTube myself instead of Twitch. I also chose YouTube for the convenience of so that automatically the VODs get saved, and so people can check them anytime when it's more convenient to them. But yeah, as I was saying, so our plans as usual. Yeah, on Sunday, I'm thinking of taking part in the DK challenge. We'll attempt it. And by the way, yeah, I put that at 3 p.m. for here in Italy, exactly because it should be more convenient for my Japanese viewer, potentially, since those are the most just for fun streams. But yeah, and also to change it up, also for me. But yeah, especially the former. But yeah, so on Sunday that DK challenge, you see also when I open it tomorrow, the confirmation, and then as usual, FireRed Monday and Friday. On Wednesday, Kairu no Tame ni Kane wa Naru, the Frog Forum, the Bell Tolls. But yeah, see you next time.